Welcome to the Find My New Life podcast. I'm Christopher Lapine, spiritual liberation author and speaker. This podcast brings you inspiration, hope, and answers for how to live a modern, God-centered spiritual life. It will help you have a more direct, deeper experience of God, find more happiness, and live your incredible God-given destiny. You can find all my podcasts, as well as videos, books, and more at findmynewlife.com. So, let's get started with today's show. Hi, this is Chris. Welcome. This is the podcast for February the 25th, 2023, my 9th podcast of the year. Life After Death Mysteries Solved, the 7 Big Questions. It's great to have you here today, and in this podcast, I am going to answer 7 key questions about life after death, and they are, of course, is it real? How do I get there? Where do you go? Do you get a body? What do you do? How long do you live? You're also going to have a way to verify the truth of the answers I'm going to provide today, a way to discover more, and as a bonus today, I'm going to share a new source of information that I'm using on this topic, which is very, very helpful. So, the whole question of life after death is a natural thing. We all think about it from time to time, and as you get older, of course, you think about it more. I know friends I used to have, they've passed on, they've died. Some were older, some were younger, but it is always hard to lose a friend. I lost both my parents, I've lost friends, and it's hard. There's a hole. It definitely hurts. And especially, I think, when we see people on the news dying in war or just other horrible conditions, natural disasters, it always makes you think, especially when it's younger people. And you may be going through this yourself. So the answers that I'm going to give today are going to have an effect on your state of mind, hopefully. And then that will affect your daily life, the decisions you make. And it really comes down to how do we want to spend our time right now in light of these answers. And it is difficult to answer. I will give you that. But as we go forward today, I ask you, please take the risk and listen to what I have to say. Please stay for the whole podcast. It'll be worth your while. And you will know the ring of truth. You will feel it in yourself. So let's go ahead. I need your open mind today. Suspend your judgment. Listen to your inner spirit. And if you feel hope inside you, let it grow. It's not too good to be true. Of course, you got to make your own decisions. So let me take you on this thought journey. But first, this is all based on our assumptions about God. And here they are. The first question is, does God exist? And if we assume that God does exist, that God created the universe, and if you assume that God is better than the best human you can think of, that God is really a kind, loving, divine parent, then that God created people, and we have a very, very strong desire to go on, to see others go on. We don't want our existence to end. So would it make sense that God would put this desire inside of us without helping us fulfill it? And if God has rules about this whole life after death thing, wouldn't they be fair? Wouldn't we do it in a fair way if we were in control? And the universe, is the universe organized? Well, if we assume that there is a loving creator of all of it, God has a purpose for doing it. And if God is truly perfect, God has organized it. And we all have a place in that incredible plan. If we believe this, if you make this your foundation, then it really opens up the question about life after death in a big way. It changes the answers we can think of. So let's start with that foundation. Okay, first question, is it real? Answer, life after death is real. There are many, many cases that we can find in near-death experiences, near-death stories. This has been scientifically researched across hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cases over the years with many different authors. You can research it, you can find it. There are people who are clinically dead for long periods of time, brain dead, and then they go to places, they find information that there is no way you could find. They bring it back. They share details there is no way they could have shared. I'm not going to get into these, but if you research it, you watch some of these videos, check out some of the books, it's undeniable that people live after they die, and it changes their lives radically. And these experiences are very, very similar across children, across cultures, languages, and countries. And also, if you follow Jesus, then in his teachings, he says, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you?" That's John 14:3. Now, if you're a Christian, that's very assuring. That's very comforting. But that aside, there is absolute proof that there is life after death. So then the next big question is, okay, if it does exist, what are the rules? How do I get in? How do I keep going? I want to live forever. What do I do? And very simply, the doorway to life after death is your sincere desire for the truth, God, and your attempt to follow God's leading, to follow the divine will. And if you want to grow and keep growing, you have to find God and try to follow that will as best you can. That is the only criteria for life after death. That's it. How do I know this? This is in line with what a fair God would do. This is in line with the most progressive teachings, and there's a new source of information you will find out later in this podcast. But God makes it fair. Think of what you would do in the most fair and sane way for your children if you're God. Again, we just need to know that you're sincere, you want to be part of the program, you want to go on, you want to help other people, and you want to follow that divine plan. You want to become better, you want to learn more. That's it, a desire to grow and put out effort. Okay, we got those first two down. The next question is, all right, where do I go? And how do I get there? Well, angels take you there. When you die, angels take your soul, they take you, and they go there. And the Spirit of God, your individual piece of God inside you, is going there with you to preserve your memories, to help you get started again. So when you wake up, you're on the other side. You're not reincarnated here. You are reincarnated in another world, heaven. You go straight to heaven. Now, what if I'm a really, really bad person? What if I don't care about the will of God? Then you don't go on at all. There is nothing that you're resurrected from. When you physically die, that's it. There is no hell. The whole idea of hell is false. It was never taught by Jesus, and it was something invented by man. It's a primitive belief. And it was used to try to get people to be moral and later to control people. But the whole idea of this horrific place that you're going to punish someone for eternity, that has nothing to do with a perfect, loving, kind God. Now, if you truly have someone who's absolutely evil, doesn't care about others, then you're not going to torture them for eternity. You're just going to turn them off. And that's what happens. Okay, so we got the first three questions out of the way. This is good. We know life after death is real. Your willingness to follow God is the doorway to get there. You're taken there to heaven by your angel. And then the fourth question that comes up is, okay, what am I when I get there? What is the me? Well, it's you. When you wake up, you are going to retain your memories of the people in your life, the meaningful relationships, the meaningful eternal relationships you have. You're going to have good memories about all the good things you did, the progress, the things that were spiritually significant in your life. That's who you're going to be. Heaven is filled, like this world is, with opportunities for relationships and friendships. All the friendships you had, those will continue. All the relationships. If they're meaningful, if they're good, they're going to continue. If those people on the other side are resurrected on the other side. Your family, your friends, you will be reunited, and you're going to meet angels and other spiritual beings who are part of this big plan. So you are a distinct person. You can interact with others. You can recognize others. It's a real place. Okay, it kind of leads to our next question. Do I get a body? Some people think that you kind of float around in this fog, this vapor, this smoke, and you're kind of interacting. But when you get there, number one, it's a real place. It's a planet. And then a series of places you go. But when you're resurrected, you have a new body. It's a spiritual body. You can see things, you can hear things, you can sense things, you can move this body. You're in a real environment. It's a place to live. It's a place to play. It's a place where you're going to go through an education and a training and work. There are buildings. There's an organization to this. There's a culture. There are cities. But it is obviously very, very progressive and spiritual, and it's all meant to help you move forward. And then that leads to the next question. What am I going to do in heaven? What am I going to do on the other side? Well, you're going to be educated. You're going to be trained. You're going to serve others. You're going to find out more fully what God's plan is for you and your place in this universe for eternity. And you're going to get to make decisions about some of the things that you want to learn in this plan. Basically, you're going to decide different ways to learn what you need to learn. There's going to be work again. There's going to be play. You're going to be serving others. There are schools. There's education. And this leads to maybe a question you've been thinking from the beginning. Where are you getting all this, Chris? Where are you getting this? I do have a source, which is a really amazing source, which that's our bonus feature today, and I'll get this information out to you. But again, if we go back to the idea of a loving, perfect God, and we go back to the idea of how we learn now and how we evolve and change, doesn't it make sense that God's going to help you fulfill the desire to live forever? Doesn't it make sense that there are going to be meaningful, interesting things to do? Doesn't it make sense that this world, the activities of this world are a shadow, are a prelude, are a bridge, are a preview of what we're going to do over there? You're going to have relationships. You're going to make decisions. You're going to learn things. You're going to work. You're going to help others. You're probably going to teach. You're going to move around and do things and have fun. All of this is going to be there. So that's an assumption I think we can fairly make. You're not just going to be housed on a shelf, blissed out all the time. It's a real place where you're going to do real things. So that's what you're going to be doing. And the last question is, well, how long do I live? That's the last big question. And the answer is, as long as you want. you can live for eternity. Of course, you can also decide, well, I don't want this. I don't want this growth. I'm not willing to put out the effort, and that can be the end of it. But we're talking about an eternity of discovering more and more your place in God's plan, the absolute adventure and intrigue of it all, the total adventure, the achievement, the striving, the overcoming of limitations, the joy of it all. Everything, the total transformation by this great partnership in the universe, you and God on this unbelievable journey. Just think about it. Think about the Creator, your loving divine Father, who has created the entire universe. All of it. The universe is absolutely, stupendously, hugely big. It's really big. Big. We're talking galaxy upon galaxy upon galaxy. Think of this. There are as many galaxies in the universe as there are glasses of water in all the oceans of the world. And each of those galaxies has hundreds of millions of stars and planets with life. It is absolutely endless. And so the Creator, the organizer of it all, created you for a reason, put you in your place in life for a reason, gave you the talents you have for a reason. It's to help with this unbelievable adventure of universe growth. It's just stupendous. You have an unbelievable adventure in this universe. And you've got your loving Father by your side. Inside, you've got that absolute fragment of God. You're going to be a person. Again, let's go through the answers here. Heaven is real. The doorway is your willingness to cooperate with God. You're going to get there. Your angels are going to take you there. The Spirit of God is going to protect you. When you get there, you're a real person who can interact with other people, make achievements, make decisions. You have a real body. You can move around and do real things. There's education, training, work, play, entertainment, travel. And you can live for eternity in this astounding adventure that we can't even imagine. We can't imagine how astounding it is. And there are many places in heaven. It isn't just one big bowl that everybody's thrown in. The universe is enormous, and heaven has many places. I want to read you some incredible quotes, and then I promise at the end of the podcast, I am going to give you the source of more information on this. Okay, so here are the quotes, and these quotes are from this source. Here's the first one. Love of adventure, curiosity, and dread of monotony, these traits inherent in evolving human nature, were not put there just to aggravate and annoy you during your short sojourn on earth, but rather to suggest to you that death is only the beginning of an endless career of adventure, an everlasting life of anticipation, an eternal voyage of discovery. That's pretty astounding. That is so reassuring, isn't it? Just amazing. Just think about that one. Okay, here's the next quote. There is in the mind of God a plan which embraces every creature of all his vast domains. And this plan is an eternal purpose of boundless opportunity, unlimited progress, and endless life. And the infinite treasures of such a matchless career are yours for the striving. Wow. That's all I have to say. Just how comforting. Isn't it comforting to know that the Creator of the universe has an amazing eternal future for you? Isn't that great? No matter what's going on here, we know what a stupendous future. Okay, here's the next quote. The goal of eternity is ahead. The adventure of divinity attainment lies before you. The race for perfection is on. whosoever will may enter, and certain victory will crown the efforts of every human being who will run the race of faith and trust, depending every step of the way on the leading of the indwelling Spirit and on the guidance of that good Spirit of the universe Son, who so freely has been poured out upon all flesh. I don't know about you, but this just revs me up. We weren't created just for a short life of frustration and fear here. We were created for an eternal adventure. Onward and onward and onward. Okay, here's the last quote. Having started out on the way of life everlasting, having accepted the assignment and received your orders to advance, do not fear the dangers of human forgetfulness and mortal inconstancy. Do not be troubled with doubts of failure or by perplexing confusion. Do not falter and question your status and standing, for in every dark hour, at every crossroad in the forward struggle, the Spirit of truth will always speak, saying, "This is the way." And I'm just so thrilled. I'm so comforted by that. I hope you are too, to just know that God's got me. No matter how messed up I am or the mistakes I make, He's got me. He's got you. He's got all of us in this astounding adventure. All we need to do is accept and move forward. So you're probably wondering, where are you getting these quotes from, Chris? Where are you getting a lot of these conclusions about heaven? I do have a new source of information, and as promised, I'm going to give it to you. This is a book. You can get it on Amazon or at your local bookstore. I believe it's also available as an ebook. I think it's even an audiobook, if I'm not mistaken, but it's definitely a book, a print book you can get. So the name of this book is called The Urantia Book, and I'll spell it out for you. Urantia book. The Urantia Book. This is an astounding source of truth. It claims to be a new revelation written by angels, has a lot to say about life after death. In the end, you'll have to make your own decisions about it and check it out, but I can tell you that it is remarkable and astounding and beyond a lot of things you may have read before. So that's a source of information. So hey, as we come to the end of this podcast, and please hang on, just think about what this means for you. If all of these things are true, how will it affect your life? Now you know for a certainty that you are held in the love of God forever, and that He is going to give you everything you need in order to progress. And every single positive desire for growth and love and joy and adventure, all of those things, all of that is going to be fulfilled to your heart's content in eternity. If there's a lot of stuff right now that you're frustrated on, that you wanted to achieve, that's really good and meaningful, you will get to achieve it in eternity if you can't do it here. I can think of many things that I want to do. I just don't have enough time. So again, God's going to fulfill all those desires because He put them there. You are held in that divine presence. You have an eternal companion, the Spirit of God in you, your own personal companion for eternity. Wherever you go, you've got that friend. You're not going to be lost. And really, it's about taking the next step to explore these truths. You're going to, of course, need to take the time to sit with God, to listen, and ask the question again and again and again. And listen, it might not be instantaneous, but eventually you're going to reach a point of satisfaction and a conclusion, and you will know of a certainty that you're being told the truth by your inner spirit. You are a child of God, the creator of the universe. He is your loving, divine Father, wants the best for you. no matter what's happened in your life, He wants the best for you and accepts you as you are and wants to hold you and heal you and comfort you through this life. It's a tough life here. It can be absolutely brutal. And maybe you've been hurt, neglected, brutalized. Maybe you're in an extremely tough spot. But know that in eternity, if you look in that far range there, what you're going through now can be used to help you grow spiritually. And when you work with God, then you can make practical changes right now in your life. Knowing these things about eternity is not an excuse for ignoring the life we have around this or of escaping it. We're here. We're in this tough place. So use the faith that God's going to help you, and you can transform yourself to have a better life now and in eternity. You have tremendous value and potential. You are unique. You are put here in this place for a reason, because I need you. The universe needs you. Please remember that. You have a unique future and a destiny as a child of God, if you choose it. Believe with faith. And when you believe with faith and have that, you will know that these answers are true. You'll know, yes, I will live after I die. And if I'm willing, if I have a desire to grow and I'm trying, I'm going to get in, period. My angels are going to take me to a place that's beyond my wildest dreams. And it's going to be a place where I am a real person and can interact with other people and make decisions and have a choice. I will have a body. I can move around. I'll have a place to live. I'll be working. I'll be playing. I'll be trained and grow and serve. And I can do this for eternity in an amazing, amazing adventure. Everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your support and interest and comments, and it's just great to have you here today. I encourage you to please take the time to reflect and spend time with God. And I also encourage you to check out all the other offerings on my website, findmynewlife.com, and also all the podcast stuff on YouTube and also on the other your favorite podcast. There's a lot there, guys, that you'd really like. So if you like it, I ask you, please subscribe. Please share this site with others. Follow me and go forward and just enjoy. Sit with the assurance, the wonderful assurance of this incredible eternal life, and have a great day. Thanks for listening today. I hope it helped you on your journey. Go to findmynewlife.com for all my podcasts and much more. If you'd like to contact me with ideas or requests, use the Contact Me link on that website. I wish you the best on your spiritual journey. Remember, you are a child of God and we are family. You could claim an amazing destiny. See you next time.